This isn't just the welcome for a sports star. It's a sign of a powerful economic force shaping the world, the Chinese consumer. This year, basketball great Stephen Curry, tennis legend Roger Federer, and a host of other global sports icons have all come to China. Not just for the applause, but for the market. So what does this buzz reveal about China's economy today?
We're here at the World Winter Sports Expo here in Beijing. Wow, that was fast. Where the passion and energy for winter sports is unmistakable. And that passion is turning into real spending power. So from skis to snowboards, apparel, training and travel, an entire winter sports ecosystem is developing here in China. And in many ways, China can't wait for that next snowfall.
But perfect snow doesn't always fall from the sky. More often than not, it comes from these machines, by Techno Alpin, the Italian firm with over 60% of the market. They were the official snowmakers for the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics and have been active in China long before the Olympics.
In 2014, we saw the start of being a movement to build new resorts. So we said, okay, this could be a good market for us, let's try it. And we decided to found our first company here.
So how does demand look like for this machine right now in the China market?
There was a big boost before the Olympics and a couple of years later as well. Now it's stable, but we think seeing the amount of skiers that keeps growing, we think it might still grow in the future.
For brands in China, it's often no longer enough to just sell a product, but a compelling experience as well, like this immersive snow room.
Okay, I'm gonna go in and have a try and see how cold this snow room actually is. Wow, you can just feel that blast of cold air on your face immediately when you open it. It really feels like you're in the Alps now, or you're in Zhangjiakou or Chongli or some kind of ski resort. It is absolutely frigid in here. You can see some snow falling off, and this is that nice powder that's being made from the snow making machines. That is quite an amazing simulation.
And also we use it for the shops. Yeah. We have experience for Canada Goose, for example, where to test the jackets.
Winning in this market now depends on having a deep understanding of local behavior and not just importing a global playbook.
We have an R&D department also here in Zhangjiakou, also to cover the needs. They are cooperating with Bolzano, but they are specifically pointed to cover the needs required by the Chinese market. So we are using it also as a test bench for several other countries, which might developing ski resorts in the future.
I've never seen a chairlift with these many seats. So this is an Austrian company that makes ropeway systems. Chairlift is one of them. What is it going to take for an international company to succeed in the China market, for those that truly want to stand out and thrive versus those who might lose some ground?
You look at the percentage of this sector out of the total economy in some Western countries, it's much better, this ratio, compared to China. So I think it means that there's a very large market potential. It's a booming market here for the winter sports, and I'm pretty sure that foreign companies would be interested in taking a share of that as well.
China's consumer market is vast. It's home to 1.4 billion people. GDP per capita right now stands at around $13,800 US. That's up nearly 70% from just over $8,000 US over a decade ago. Now, to tap into that growing spending power, China is pursuing a strategy called dual circulation, which is really about emphasizing and boosting domestic demand while staying firmly connected to the global economy.
China is rebalancing its economy, which has long been powered by the external engine of exports. The goal is to build an equally powerful internal engine, driven by domestic consumption. This dual circulation strategy doesn't mean disconnecting from the world, but using both engines to create a more resilient and balanced economy that is less vulnerable to global volatility.
美国服务业占 GDP 的比重达到80%多，日本也一样啊。 我们收入水平提高以后，服务业的比重就会从现在的53.9%，不断的向70%、80%靠。那么，出口占 GDP 的比重也就会越来越低，也就是我们国民经济当中就会越来越靠这个国内的循环。
In an outline of China's 15th five-year plan for economic and social development, covering 2026 to 2030, China says it aims to build a more dynamic and robust domestic market to boost consumption and expand effective investment.
我们现在是世界上最大的国内单体的消费品市场，超过了美国。那我们不仅是大呀，我们地区差异明显，就结构性特征啊丰富，资源禀赋啊，它的特点突出。这样就会能够形成什么呢？更长久的长期发展的周期。
So, how do you unlock the spending power of an entire nation? China is unlocking domestic spending with nationwide trade-in programs and targeted subsidies. These initiatives help households replace old cars and appliances with new models, boosting 2024 sales by over 1.3 trillion yuan. To continue this momentum, the government has doubled its support for 2025 with 300 billion yuan in special bonds to ensure subsidies are paid promptly, lifting both large purchases and consumer confidence.
从个人消费来说的话，我感觉就是整体消费环境还行，就是不管是消费的一些刺激力度，还有现在整体的一个购物的一个方便便捷程度，其实还都是蛮好的。
本来是1090几块钱的，然后用掉那个消费券，现在只花了792块钱。对我们来说，消费就是这个活动力度真的很大。
家里面在装修嘛，然后可能有家具，然后还有电器这些可能会用一下，因为本来现在最近有国补，然后趁着这段时机，然后可能就买了一些东西。
Beyond short-term boosts, creating lasting consumption requires raising incomes and reducing precautionary savings. China's plan includes employment subsidies, steps toward childcare support, expanded insurance coverage, and better funding for pensions and healthcare. The government is also enforcing paid leave, ensuring people have both the means and the time to spend on services like culture and tourism.
我们要围绕着这个战略基点扩大内需这个战略基点，那么肯定就是我们要，就是说加大一些，比如说这个有效投资。你比如说在基础设施领域啊，你比如说我们的，比如说川藏铁路，要通过这种政府的投资，通过我们的改革，就是激发我们民间的投资的潜力。
Deeper rebalancing. The long game required investment. The idea is to coordinate the tangible, like new roads and rails, with the intangible, like knowledge and ambition. China is betting that this mix will power its economy. Rising expectations push innovation, and innovation feeds back into a higher quality of life. It's a wide-open competitive field, but not one where a single player is meant to dominate.
You have to be better when you have a good competition, and at the end, competition is positive for innovation, and innovation is positive for customers.
To stay close to that market and service it is very attractive to us, and also the developments in kind of China go very fast. So actually it's a speedy market in terms of development, so actually you learn things in China that you can apply globally.
Despite the domestic emphasis, China's aim is definitely not isolation. It's to reduce fragmentation inside China's economy and create a more seamless, unified national market.
I don't see an industry that's 100% dominated by Chinese companies or by Western companies. I think it's going to be a mixed bag of competition with presence from both sides. I think China's market is big enough to accommodate.
China is not just a big market for us, it's truly an innovation hub. And this combination of local roots and local understanding with global scale and capacity to innovate all around the world is something that nobody can match.
In China we trust. We have respect, admiration for China, and we will show that the future of China, we can be confident in the future of China. China is not only a market. China, that's an energy, an energy which is resilient, an energy which is able of adaptation.
And what about the international circulation? This isn't about closing the doors. It's about changing China's role in the global economy. The emphasis is on technological innovation to move up the value chain. A key goal for 2026 to 2030 is to make substantial improvements in achieving scientific and technological self-reliance and strength to resolve critical bottleneck problems.
Better performance often means better materials. This one right here, this is a normal snowboard. It's got some weight to it. This snowboard right here, this is made of carbon fiber. Not that many companies in the world make carbon fiber snowboards.
Carbon fiber sports equipment used to be a luxury. Before 2020, a staggering 90% of China's carbon fiber was imported. Back then, the material, often known as black gold, sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars per ton.
去不断地优化整个聚合的一个工艺，最终确定的这样的一个工艺范围。之前一吨原是大概在5万到6万，现在嘛差不多在2万5千块钱左右。
Today, more models are appearing at a fraction of that price, opening the market to a new generation of consumers.
09年开始做单板滑雪这一块一直在做出口，但是15年以后呢，因为咱们国内在这个滑雪市场增长的比较大，我们15年开始做国内。
In just over a year, China's domestic output of carbon fiber rose by nearly 50%, making it the world's largest producer. Domestic circulation is not only about household consumption, it also depends on what the country can produce. For policymakers, this is where dual circulation comes in, strengthening domestic capabilities while staying connected to global demand. The carbon fiber snowboard is one example, using domestic technology to supply both local and overseas buyers.
然后这款产品的话，我们会面向出口。
The company is now offering its high-tech boards to mature winter sports markets such as Japan, New Zealand, Canada, and the United States. This isn't about dumping or exporting excess goods. China's strategy is to use innovation to create high-quality products at competitive prices. This benefits consumers both in China and abroad by providing more choice, not by selling off low-cost surplus. A stronger domestic orientation is often misunderstood as isolation, but the policy is meant to coexist and reinforce China's external engagement.
On the contrary, being the largest exporting country in the world, we need imports more. Remember, China is the only country that holds an import-export every year to encourage more imports into the country. We actually encourage foreign companies to put their products onto the Chinese market, to come in China to invest.
As an international company, how do you stand out to make sure you really benefit from China's dual circulation strategy?
I think you need to invest for the long run. You need to be patient. You need to build up a deep base of connection with Chinese consumers, to build up your brand here for the long-term presence. So I think it really needs to have a sort of a long-term vision, to have a more of a patient vision that you're going to be staying in China for the long run.
Domestic demand and more domestic capability and innovation are, I think, an important part of the dual circulation. It doesn't mean that China is going to close down. Clearly, it will still benefit from international trade and from access to international investment and technology to the extent that it can indeed have that interaction.
Amid rising uncertainty and pushback against globalization, dual circulation is China's way of shifting more of its growth engine inward, not to shut the world out, but to make the domestic market strong enough to absorb shocks. For international companies, that doesn't close the door. It offers even more opportunities. As China builds a larger, wealthier, more sophisticated consumer base, the biggest opportunities are increasingly inside the country, serving Chinese consumers closer to where they are. A stronger domestic Chinese economy does not replace the global one. It feeds back into it, with foreign firms participating in a market that is bigger, deeper, and more resilient than before.